cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut.
Today's episode is brought to you by ETB Games. ETB Games is, of course, our locals in Alexandria, Louisiana. They are our one-stop shop for all of our card game needs. They have singles and sealed product for the games that you love, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon. Of course, you can also find the accessories that you need, such as sleeves, binders, playmats, and more. And if you're into D&D, well, they have all of your D&D figurines, the paint for the figurines, dice, books, and anything that you would need to play. So be sure to check out ETB Games. There's a link in the description down below. And now, back to today's episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I'm your host. I'm here with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And of course, before we get too far, we want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. So a huge thank you, of course, to ETB Games as well as Steelfox Games, who you, I'm sure, have heard of. They had an awesome regional last weekend. You should absolutely check out Steelfox Games as well. Also, we, of course, want to thank, we have Gem Accessories and Millennium Threads. There should be links with discount codes to both of those down below. And of course, we want to thank TCG Player and Dragon Shield. You can find affiliate links to both of those down below. And if you go to the Dragon Shield website using that affiliate link, not only can you click it before you shop to support the podcast at no extra cost to yourself, but also you can find access to all of these really awesome new sleeves that they just came out with. These are all available for pre-order on their website. You have Forest Green, which is, well, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of like a little bit darker green.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go like one shade darker than that, they have a new one called Might. So Might is a dual matte. Forest Green is matte. Then you have Wisdom, which is like almost like a royal blue. It's also a dual matte. Then you have Midnight Blue, which is very, very deep blue, almost purplish. That is just a regular matte sleeve. And the last dual matte sleeve we have is Valor, which is kind of like just like a little bit off white.
Yeah.
Almost like an eggshell color.
Yeah. That's actually what I was about to say. It's kind of more of an eggshell color than actual like white.
Right. So this is a dual matte. So the difference between the matte and the dual matte is that the dual matte has a textured. So the matte is the textured back, and the dual matte means that it has like the black interior. So if you ever see one that says dual matte, that's really the difference, is that the interior of the sleeve is actually black. So if you see like this sleeve that I have in front of me, this is not dual matte because the interior is actually white.
It would be the same color. So if it's single matte, it would be the same color as the back.
Yes. Well, unless it's just a design sleeve. If it's a design sleeve, then it's just white on the inside.
Yeah, because it's a white sleeve with the design printed on it.
Yeah. So, but absolutely check those out. And of course, thank you to all of our patrons who we will read off at the end of the episode. But a huge thank you, of course, to them as well. So we got some stuff to discuss today. We have, of course, I do want to go ahead and talk about and mention we have a new archetype to talk about.
Yes, we got a whole new archetype. We got finally got this archetype.
Yeah, so this is the Vanquished Souls archetype, which was the last archetype from the deck builder set Wild Survivors, which is the set that was also giving us the
Transcend Drake and Nouveau.
Yeah, which Transcend Drake is all the Dino support we keep talking about, and the Nouveau is the Hungry Burger support.
Yeah, right? It's literally Hell's Kitchen.
Right. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about Vanquished Souls. So I do know that we haven't read these cards yet, but I do know that when they gave us the preview of the set, they said that they kind of play with the attributes.
Yes.
So we haven't really ever had a good attribute-based strategy that had multiple attributes, different effects based off what.
Yeah, like the nearest thing that I think that they had with that was the sub-archetype that was supposed to go with the Elemental Lords.
Element Sabers.
Yeah. But their whole shtick was less of, if this attribute's on field, do this, and more of a, I have this effect, but then I can also change my attribute.
Right.
Which is completely different.
So let's start off with the very first monster. We have Vanquished Soul Raisin. Raisin?
I do not know.
Maybe Raisin.
It might be Raisin, like a ray gun.
Yeah. Or you raise the earth.
It might be a pun on Raven, maybe.
Potentially.
So Raisin, because it's literally just Raven with a Z.
Yeah. Also, they're all furries, so that's...
They're not. It's only just the one.
No, that
It's-
guy's furry.
No, he's not. He's just a dude.
No.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
Nah, look at his chest. He got spots. That's a furry.
That's shading.
No.
Yes, that's shading on his muscles.
No. Anyway, so we have Vanquish Soul Razin, Fire Warrior, Effect Monster, 1800 attack, 1500 defense, level 4. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn, and you cannot activate them in the same chain. Interesting. We don't really see that restriction very often.
Yeah.
1. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster from your deck to your hand. 2. Quick effect. You can reveal the appropriate monster or monsters in your hand to activate one of these effects. 1 fire monster. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. 1 fire and 1 dark. Destroy all other monsters in this card's column. Interesting.
Okay, I can dig that. That's not bad.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Next up, we have Vanquish Soul Pantera, who is a furry. She is actually a furry. Level 4 Earth Beast Warrior monster, 1700 attack, 1900 defense. You can only use the first second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and you cannot activate them in the same chain. 1. If you control no monsters in the main monster zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. 2. Quick effect. You can reveal the appropriate monsters in your hand to activate one of these effects. So same thing. 1 Earth. It cannot be destroyed by battle. An Earth and a Fire to Harpy's Feather Duster. Or destroy all spells and traps in this card's column.
Yeah, in the column. That's very different.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so all right, let's see what we got next. Next we have Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger. Dark Machine Effect Monster, level 7, 2500 attack and 1500 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and you cannot activate them in the same chain. 1. During the main phase quick effect, you can target one non-machine Vanquish Soul monster you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. 2. Quick effect, you can reveal the appropriate monster or monsters in your hand to activate one of these effects. 1 dark monster, draw 1 card, 1 earth and 1 fire, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. Cool.
Okay,
It just wins in time.
Yeah. Next up, we have Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove. I love that name.
That is a pretty awesome name.
Cool looking card, too.
Yeah.
Dark Fiend, level 4, 1200 attack, 2000 defense. Same thing, you can only use the first second effect each once per turn, and not in the same chain. 1. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Vanquish Soul spell trap from deck to your hand. 2. Quick effect. You can reveal the appropriate monsters, activate one of these effects. Reveal a dark. A face-up monster your opponent controls loses 500 attack and defense. Dark and Earth. Return a face-up monster on the field with the lowest defense to your hand, at your choice if tied.
All right. That's all right. So next we have Vanquish Soul Pluton HG. Fire Zombie Effect Monster, level 6, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and you cannot activate them in the same chain. 1. During your opponent's turn, if you control no monsters in the main monster zone, or all monsters you control in the main monster zone are Vanquish Soul monsters, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand.
Ooh.
2. Quick effect, you can reveal the appropriate monster or monsters in your hand to activate one of these effects. 1 fire monster, this card gains 3000 defense until the end of this turn. 1 dark and 1 earth, this card gains 3000 attack until the end of this turn.
Interesting. Next up, we actually have the boss monster of the deck, Vanquish Soul Kaiser Varius. Earth Dragon, level 8, 3000 attack, 1500 defense.
Whoa.
I know, right? The artwork on the Link monster?
Yeah, I zoomed in on the Link monster, which is next, and wow, that art is insane.
Yep, you can only, same thing, you can only activate the first, second effects and not in the same chain. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target a non-dragon vanquishing soul monster you control. Return to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card. 2. Quick effect, you reveal the appropriate monsters in your hand to activate one of these effects. An Earth monster, this face-up card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects this turn. It just becomes a towers by revealing an Earth.
Wow.
Or you can reveal an Earth, a Fire, and a Dark, destroy 1 card on the field.
It's nice that he's not hard to summon.
No. You just have to have a non-dragon vanquishing soul monster on field.
Yeah.
When you bounce it in hand, you splash summon this dude.
Yeah. Next, we have Rock of Vanquisher. Dark Rock Link Effect Monster. It's a Link 1 with its arrow pointing straight down. 1 Vanquished Soul Monster is the material. Cannot be used as Link material. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. While you control a Vanquished Soul Monster, your opponent's monsters can only target your monster with the highest attack for attacks. Their choice if tied. 2. During the main phase, quick effect, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Vanquished Soul Monster from your hand. Or add 1 Vanquished Soul Monster from your graveyard to your hand.
Ooh.
So it gives you a little bit of recursion, which is fine.
Yeah. Notably, this is not a vanquished soul monster. This is not a vanquished soul monster.
No,
Oh, no.
it's not.
Yeah. Interesting. So now we're in the spells. We have Vanquished Soul Dust Devil. Quick play spell. You can only activate one of this card per turn. Target a Vanquished Soul monster you control. Change its battle position. Then you can change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position up to the number of Vanquished Soul monsters you control with different names. So it's a multi-book of moon if you control a bunch of dudes with different Vanquished Soul monsters with different names.
Interesting.
Very.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? And all it does is change the battle position from attack to defense and a defense to attack.
Right.
And then your opponent just gets board booked.
Board booked.
Yeah.
Next, we have Vanquished Soul Continue. Quick play spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. 1. Pay 500 life points, then target 1 Vanquished Soul monster in your graveyard. Either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position. Okay, that's not bad either.
Vanquish. Next up, we're in the traps now. Vanquish Soul Trinity Burst. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target a Vanquish Soul monster you control. Special summon up
It's
to
a
2.
normal trap.
Yeah. Special summon up to 2 VS monsters from your hand with different names from each other and different original attributes from the targeted monster, but their effects are negated, and return them to the hand during the end phase. Then you can return all opponent's cards in the targets and their summoned monsters columns to the hand.
Okay. So summon 2 from your hand with different names, other than the original attributes.
So if you have a dark on board and you're targeting a dark, you can special summon an earth and a fire with 2 different names.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's a normal trap. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Next up,
Says the one who's running the normal trap deck. Next, we have Vanquished Soul Calamity Kaiser. What? You're running normal trap the deck?
Well, yeah, but
Not all normal traps are bad.
yeah.
Vanquish Soul Calamity Kaiser. Counter trap. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. 1. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or monster effect that targets a card or cards you control, or you control a Vanquish Soul monster. Negate the activation, and if you do destroy that card, then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of 1 Vanquish Soul monster you control. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a spell trap, target negate.
Yes, it is.
It's so specific.
Not necessarily.
Oh no, never mind. It's spell trap or monster. Yeah, so it's just a target.
Yeah.
So anything, it can negate anything that targets.
Yes, anything that targets, which is still fine. It feels like they did a lot to make this archetype worse than it needed to be.
Yeah, there's some limitations that probably didn't need to happen.
For example, these effects are not good enough to justify them being 1 per chain, right? Like, it would have been fine if
I think
each effect was once per turn and they weren't once per chain. That would have been honestly fine.
I think the idea is so that way it's like normal summon, activate effect to search, chain imperm. You can't chain this other effect to get it,
Right.
or chain ash, or your opponent chain something to remove from the field. You don't get the opportunity to get the other effect.
Yeah, but like
But why?
the cards aren't good enough to justify that restriction.
Yeah, I mean, because the first one, you reveal a fire, it can't be destroyed by card effects. Or you can pop everything in this card's column.
Yeah, and you have to have such specific combinations of them to actually get correct effects, and even the correct effects that you want to get are just like fine.
Yeah, it's very much a case of in order for you to be able to even utilize those effects, you have to open multiples.
Like 4 or 5 of them.
You need to open
Different ones.
2 of the same attribute, and then of the one you want to summon, so that way you have its attribute plus 2 others.
So there's 2 fire, there's 2 earth, and there's 2 dark.
Yeah, so you want to open like.
Honestly, you really want to open like one of every monster.
Well, yeah, optimally, but minimum you'd have to open like 2 of one attribute and then 1 of the other 2. So like 2 fire, 1 earth, 1 dark, or whatever. So you can summon 1 and then have the other 2 attributes in your hand ready to go.
It also kind of bothers me that they don't have a link 2.
To be fair, the link 1 can't be used as link material.
I guess that's true.
So it's like, yeah, no, if you link this, it is an extender, and then it sits there on your board as a possible like.
These don't feel good.
They don't.
Am I like?
They really don't. Like,
It's very rare that we read a cards and we're like, oh, these are really bad.
yeah,
But these
and it's like they're
aren't good.
They're not bad.
We're hyperlords. That's what we do.
Yeah. But
We
like,
hype up every new card that we read, like, oh, this could be good.
yeah, and then give you situations where it's good.
These don't have any.
Everything's just so like
Fair.
Yeah, it's too fair is the problem.
Yeah, I don't know that this deck would be crazy in like 2015, 2014. Like, I don't know if this deck would be good then.
I mean, if it was literally just the archetypal cards, it'd be all right.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it's way too fair. And like, it's real easy for you to sit there and be comboing just to brick end.
Yeah.
Because, oh, I didn't open a fire attribute monster, so I can't keep going.
Right, exactly.
To be fair, I don't think you have to reveal, like, specifically.
And the quick play spell is not bad, but why do you have to target one in your graveyard and add it to your hand or special summon it? Honestly, why not just make it a quick launch? Like, the cards aren't good enough to justify this card not being a quick launch.
To be fair, at that point, it's well with the quick launch. Where do they put the limiter then? Do they put it at level 6 or lower, or do they limit it to level 4s?
Yeah, level 6 or lower is fine.
Okay, yeah, because then that lets you get out the 20.
I mean, even level 4 lower is probably fine.
Yeah, because that lets you get out the 1 of each. Like level 4 will let you get one
of each attribute, right?
Yeah, level
Yeah, that would be
6 lets you
perfect.
get into a second one, but not the boss monster who's level 8.
And also, it doesn't let you get into the
The dark machine one.
right, which is
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. Which I think is fine.
It lets you get into 2/3 of the archetype.
Yeah. So I'm like, sure, why not? Yeah, just make it level 6 or lower.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and then it would be. I think it would have been a fair card. Even more, well, less fair than it already is, but considering how unbroken the rest of the deck is.
And honestly, if you just do everything we just said and then take the cannot be used as link material off of the link monster, then like
Maybe?
it's kind of a cool link climb deck. But like, honestly, there's already better link climb decks out there.
Like, this is just a well, like, even if you like, because the thing is, you can still attempt to link climb, but then you're doing it. But then you have to be very careful with your zones, because one of them's going to be taken up by a monster that's just going to sit there and
Yeah.
can't be used as link material. Because you can still link climb with this deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah. So you'd have to like link into this dude pointing down, and then you're stuck with just those zones.
Right. It almost feels like they saw how good Prank Kids were because of their Link 1. And they were like, ooh,
So
Link
they're
1s are a
being-
little too broken.
So they're being a little cautious.
Which I guess, like, I get it. Like, Link 1s are really, when they're good, they're like really good.
I appreciate the caution, but like at the same time,
I also want the cards to be good.
yeah, I want them to be usable. But to be fair, literally all the other cards in this from the other 2 archetypes are good.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the crazy part, is that,
I guess there had to be a stinker.
but there didn't have to be.
There really-
Right? Look at Grand Creators, right? I'll always point to that set. When we look at these deck building sets, I'll always look at Grand Creators as kind of the...
Poo-poo stinky in the moment. But,
No, it was good in the moment.
which one was Grand Creators? Or the archetypes?
Adventure Punk Exosister.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Like Grand Creators is the bar at this point And every time we have a deck build set, people are going to be like, yeah, but look at what Grand Creators was.
To be fair, Exorcister at the moment wasn't good. But people were looking ahead and being like, yeah, it'll be good like right around the corner in like 3 months.
Well, 3 months later, they said it'll be good in 5 months.
Yeah. Like people were... Well, no, because whenever Exorcister first came out, people looked, it was like, it's not good now, but it's definitely one of those.
It will
decks.
have its time.
It will have its time. It will have its moment to shine at some point.
Right.
And so a lot of the Exorcister cards were kind of expensive comparatively. Some of them.
Well, it was also a waifu archetype.
In addition to being a nuns with gun waifu archetype.
Yeah.
So it was just... But like,
I don't know, man. It just... It kind of feels like they intentionally made this one bad, and they just didn't need to.
Yeah, like they intentionally gimped this one. And
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, sure, well, you know...
It sucks, because the art on these are so cool.
Oh yeah, no, the artwork's great, but it really feels like Konami went, oh yeah, no, we'll give you all these really cool tools. Great. Where's the toolbox for me to put it all in?
Right. Like, hey, here's this engine. Have fun. But I don't have a transmission or a body or wheels or a steering wheel or
a steering column.
All right. Where's the rest of it?
Or no, better way. Hey, here's a really nice car. Cool, thanks.
There's no gas.
Where's the no. Where are the keys? What keys?
And then even if you hotwire it and get it up and running, it's like there's no gas.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
Because they didn't think you'd get that far.
Or no. Like you go to put in gas, it's diesel. Like you get to the gas station and it's like, all right, cool, now I put gas in this thing, and then you look, you haven't put the gas in yet. It's diesel. Gas station doesn't sell diesel for whatever reason.
Yep, that's what this deck is.
It really do feel like that though.
Tons of potential, no payoff.
Yeah. It be what it be.
It's like my 6-year-old if he went in the kitchen and like started cooking, and like, sure, like he could come up with something great, but we all know what the result is gonna be.
Yeah. It's gonna be if it's good, it's a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's a cold cut sandwich with some cheese.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, that's really good, but and then, well, I mean, at least it wasn't like reveal a VS monster. You can reveal anything of the correct attribute.
I almost want to say that it could have like cool applications like a link climb deck, because it can get monsters on the field, but then it can't do that because of the link restriction on the only link monster it has. I don't know. It's so upsetting.
Well, theoretically,
it's so upsetting.
Well, I could
it's so upsetting.
It is.
It's upsetting.
Like I could theoretically, you could weave it into like another link climb deck as a like starting
supplementary engine.
Yeah, it's like a starting engine. Because then it pumps out stuff, puts the link one on board, and gives you the down arrow for whatever reason. You just do, you just go.
Right.
For like extra bodies, plus because you also have, because again, you can reveal any monster of that correct attribute. You can reveal Lava Golem for the fire attribute.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you were revealing your hand traps to your opponent, but
Ash Blossom.
Yeah, reveal Ash, reveal...
You know what you could do? The one redeeming quality about this deck is that even if you go 3 deep on the entire archetype, you still have room for like a dozen hand traps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you can. Oh, you know, you can reveal, like, you could run Ghost Spell, Ash, Lava Golem, most of the Kaijus.
I mean, you could just run like Nibs, Eclipses, Lava Golems, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with the destruction effects that you have inherently within the archetype, I would probably lean towards going second and then just playing like Lightning Storms and Evenlies and stuff.
Yeah, and then like attempt to
talents.
Then just kind of like attempt to rip apart their field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you can't like link climb into access codes, so you know.
Well, you can.
Okay.
Just not as good.
If you have the dead perfect hand, you might.
Lightning Storm, normal summon, special bounce, link 1, effect special back, link 2. Oh, no, you can bounce special, affect a special.
Okay, sure, it can do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I feel like you need a perfect hand.
Not perfect, because there's a lot of stuff that's just normal search.
No,
or
there's
special search.
one normal search.
Yeah. And then there's also the
The spell revives one.
yeah. So well, there's a monster search and then a spell search.
Okay, so
yeah. So you have a search. You have 2 searches. One search is a revive.
yeah, but you have to have a way to get the second monster on board. You have to have none in your main monster zones.
Yeah. So it'd be like normal search, link 1.
Then special, the one that you searched.
And
Use that one
then-
to search the graveyard effect.
And
Or the
then-
special summon. Use that one to search the revive, and then use the
and then
revive to
activate.
summon.
No. Then activate the link monster. Revive that. Link 2 into something.
IP.
Revive to link to 3, and then that's a nightmare unicorn.
Sure.
Affect unicorn if you really want to.
And then you need to find a way to get one more.
Yeah.
You have to have another one in your hand.
Oh, one of the special bounce effect. Get us.
There might be a way to do it. We're not going to
Yeah.
figure it out right here now, though, because
No,
we
no.
also have a mailbag episode. That's right. We're doing a mailbag episode 2 all at the same time. So if you want to submit your mailbag questions for... You
What?
good?
Yeah, my phone just randomly started playing an ad that I wasn't even on
Weird.
from a
If
video
you
organization.
want to submit your mailbag questions for these mailbag episodes, be sure to join our Discord. There's a link in the description down below. We have hundreds of people in our Discord server. It is a fun little community, and we are going to be trying to do some more community-based things in there soon. But in the meantime, first question. How do you feel about Master Duel's recent push to involve larger streamers in sponsored content? Good, bad, mixed feelings. Also, we got another question. What do you think of the Ludwig Master Duel team up? So these questions are both related to the same thing. Right now, as of when we are recording this, Ludwig is actually live right now playing Master Duel on a Konami sponsored stream for the Master Duel 1 year
Bro.
anniversary.
Bro.
He's not having a good time. He's struggling.
Because he's playing so like I remember you had peeked in just kind of see what was going on. He was playing Dark Magician against Sprite Tri Brigade.
Yeah.
And
it
he keeps
was not going well.
And he keeps panic activating what was it?
Everything.
Yeah, he's like I don't know what this does. Panic activate this card to banish it. Haha, it's banished.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, cool. The effect resolve and I still special and just keep going.
Okay, couple things I need to note here, and a couple things I feel like need to be said. I really like Ludwig. I genuinely enjoy his content that he makes. I like his Bro versus Bro series. I love the Yard. I listen to the Yard like weekly, right? I don't just enjoy Ludwig. I enjoy Slime and Nick and Aiden, and I enjoy the whole cast. But boy, Ludwig, buddy, if you ever hear this, please, I'm begging you, try the solo mode.
Yeah.
It is very informative. It teaches you all of the game's mechanics. It helps you. It gives you decks to play. You can get hours and hours and hours of content out of the solo mode. It is a genuinely enjoyable experience. It is beautiful to watch. The AI is not bad.
It really is, and it's surprisingly like
Robust.
yeah.
Please try the solo modes. I cannot stress that enough. I'm not saying that you can't play ranked and you can't play ladder, but imagine if
recommend it.
I played my very first ever game of League of Legends on the ranked ladder, or my very first game of Call of Duty ever on
just
ranked.
load up the game, just straight to ranked.
Yeah, I could never do it. I have to try out the solo mode first, which I don't know if League has a solo mode, but
It has a bot mode where it's like you and a team of like 4 people.
that
against
might
a
be
team
something
of
that
bots.
sure, but that might be something that it does to kind of teach you how to play the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So you could do that. I wouldn't jump into something straight into the deep end quite like that.
Yeah, that's a sink or swim situation, and
It's
bro,
rough.
it's 50-50 shot of sinking to swimming. I don't like the mods.
Yeah. Even with somebody helping you, I genuinely believe you would have a much more enjoyable experience if you played solo mode. So-
Another option that he does have, if he's like, I don't want to do solo mode, is like, instead of just dueling random people, kind of like
No. Mm-mm.
curate who you're going
Nope.
up against.
Mm-mm. Doesn't work.
Not for
You have
learning.
you have to read too many cards, and there's a timer, and it just creates frustration and anxiety.
Not for learning. I mean, just to mess around. You know.
I mean,
'Cause you can build
sure,
whatever.
but
It's like, oh, I'm gonna build Red Eyes because Red Eyes.
yeah, but solo mode gives you so much better of a feel
Yeah,
of
yeah,
all of the
yeah,
different archetypes and the different decks, and you
Yeah,
get these
but-
cool little story modes with them.
Yeah, but that's does not a stream make, unfortunately.
I disagree. I think you can get an amazing stream out of solo mode. I mean, every time they add solo modes, MBT plays them on stream and gets a great content out of it. I think the solo modes are just as enjoyable of an experience and just as and viewer friendly as ranked is. Genuinely, I think that no. I mean, you're going, but like
I don't watch as many live streams as you do.
I mean that's true, but even watching the highlight reels of them is wonderful. And then as you progress, it gets more difficult. I just
Some of them get more difficult.
and again, it teaches you all the different mechanics. Could you imagine trying to explain pendulums to Ludwig?
Yes.
It would be rough.
I mean, I would begin that conversation with, okay, so first we're going to need some supplies before I teach you this. You're going to need a good drink.
Yeah.
You're going to need some shot glasses.
Yeah.
That is a must-have.
Sure.
And the next thing you're going to want to get is a stress ball.
Listen, get a fidget spinner, okay? Get ready.
No, not fidget spinner, because you'll break it. A stress ball you can just squeeze.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to need about 20 minutes, and at the end of which you will be unable to drive. That is that not... Listen, is that not exactly what I said whenever you asked me how pendulums worked years ago?
More or less. Long story short, I think that there's better ways you could go about it. I think that there's better ways to experience the game if you're just coming back into Yu-Gi-Oh! After a long period of time off that maybe don't stress you out as much. And there's nothing wrong with jumping in on the deep end. But if you do that, and I know that you had somebody on stream, dude, let me know. I'll fly out to California for a few days. I literally will fly out to California, bring a bunch of cards with me, and just teach you how to play the paper card game. You don't have to don't even have to pay for my travels. I will fly myself to California. Let me catch a spare bedroom. But until, I'll fly myself out there. I don't mind. So, anyway, I think that overall teaming up with other creators and doing these collabs, I think it's a wonderful thing. I mean, dude, Ludwig does not stream Yu-Gi-Oh content. But you know what? He's sitting there holding 15,000 viewers. No Yu-Gi-Oh streamer has ever held 15,000 viewers for more than like 20 seconds. Farfa held 20,000 one time for like 20 seconds during his first subathon. And that was it. Because he accidentally got rerouted to the Twitch homepage.
Somehow.
Yeah. So, yes. 21,000 is the most we've ever seen, but holding 15K for hours at a time, that's unheard of.
That's to be fair, he isn't a Yu-Gi-Oh person normally, so
Yeah, normally his streams hold 20 to 25K, but who cares?
Yeah.
He loves Yu-Gi-Oh! He does. Right? The only other people that play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like that and hold high viewer numbers like that is Saikuno, Fusely, and Moist Critical, and that's it. So
hilariously, I remember him at one point in a live stream saying the only reason why he doesn't play paper Yu-Gi-Oh is because there's nowhere for him to play nearby.
Really?
Yeah.
Are there no major card shops in Tampa?
None that do Yu-Gi-Oh.
No shot.
Apparently.
I think PPG is based in Tampa, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's on like the other side where he lives, and he just doesn't want to drive all the way.
Oh no, maybe it's Orlando.
Yeah. Long story short, there isn't one close enough for him to make it worth a trip for him, from what I remember. Keep in mind, I heard him say this like a year ago.
There's like 10 card shops in Tampa.
Yeah, but he said that there isn't any close enough nearby that do Yu-Gi-Oh for him to really want to bother, and of course, you don't want to drive across a big city like that.
I guess. Oh well. Anyway,
Moving right along.
yeah. Anyway, it's awesome. Konami representative that listens to the podcast, please keep doing it. What was or is your favorite One Piece arc? Whole Cake Island. I love Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, it's for me at the moment. It's still Fishman.
That's an insane answer.
At the moment, it's
Even where you are, that's an insane answer.
Fishman Island is good.
It's like the 20th best One Piece arc.
But you get this really cool scene between Jinbei and Nami, where Jinbei kind of has to accept that he is who caused the entirety of that arc of
Yeah, but that arc of Arlong Park was still better.
So
Arlong Park was a better arc.
yes,
So
it
was the war.
Yeah, it was.
I-
They didn't ask what the best arc was. They asked what your favorite arc is.
How do you not like at least Impel Down more?
Impel Down, in my opinion, didn't have enough of two characters. But
Oh,
There's story reasons. There's story reasons.
Who?
Not enough Frankie, not enough Jinbei. But there's story reasons for both.
To be fair, that was Jinbei's introduction, and it had a
Correct.
ton of Jinbei.
But you really didn't get into Jinbei stuff until like halfway through.
Sure.
You got scenes with Jinbei just chilling in his cell, but
I guess.
not a lot of Jinbei action.
We got the very first like big Jinbei moment when he calls in the whale sharks. That was a great moment.
It was. But yes, currently Fishman is my favorite.
All right, let me look up these deck boxes that we got asked about because I've never heard of them.
Neither have I. Doing this live. Well, not live, but live on the recording?
Maximum. Yeah, I feel like I'm being baited into Googling this.
You might be.
Maximum protection deck boxes? Oh, is that just... I've never heard of these. Yeah, I've never heard of these before.
They look cool.
Yeah, I mean, they look cool enough. I wouldn't buy one, but they look cool enough.
Yeah, I mean, I got a nice Ultra Pro one.
Yeah, I use mine's my Ultra Pro one's over there, but I always like the nice little side-by-side double deck boxes.
Yeah.
Usually they're like a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Then they can hold a little bit more. It's a little bit more comfy for your cards. I don't really like the tower ones because I don't like I just kind of don't like the way that they sit.
Yeah.
I don't know, as
that's
stupid as
fair.
that sounds. I like the kind of thinner ones, like almost like a book. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, like, so we've never heard of them, so we can't really give an opinion on it.
Right. I've been trying Ursa Arctics recently and tried pairing them with Kashira, which actually isn't bad, except for the fact that Ursa Arctic locks you into levels for the turn, so that means no links or exceeds. That's pretty rough in a Kashira deck.
Yeah.
What archetype do you cope with the most, but no matter how many different variations you make, it's still bad? Honorable mentions to Buster Blader and Summon Skull. Hey, Buster Blader's a good deck. I mean, it has formats where it's almost playable.
In Duel Links, it was a good deck at one point.
Was it?
Yeah. In Duel Links for a short while, it was meta. It and Blue Eyes were both meta. To be fair, I think the Busway deck was meta because Blue Eyes was meta.
Caleb constantly copes on Madolche.
Hold on. The thing is, Madolche was meta for a short time.
Sure.
So it does not qualify for this question. Because he said is always bad. Madolche was good at one point.
No, it's still bad.
Still bad. I mean, does it still count since it was good and then now is no longer good? But it's no longer good because people have moved away from, like...
I coped on Tri Brigade for like 3 months before I was like, yeah, I can't play this anymore. It's crept, power crept.
You're still coping on Sword Soul.
Yeah, but the difference is Sword Soul still tops.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
Madolche doesn't.
It did. Ooh.
I mean, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I guess that's something.
Yeah.
The next deck that I say I would cope with, that I would be like, I'm telling you, man, there's something here.
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh gosh, it's got to be Gear Gia. I don't know what it is. I have like a max rarity Gear Gia core because I can't help myself. It's Gear Gia.
Fair.
Okay, next we have, what do you feel are the decks to beat right now?
Kashtira, Labyrinth,
Branded. Yeah, those really are like the
big
three.
But then you also have to,
Acknowledge.
Fluundereeze of all things.
Yes.
And Sword Soul.
And Sprite.
And Sprite.
And Trap Tricks.
Yeah, and Trap Tricks.
And Dark World.
Listen. If you doubt Trap Tricks, they will slap you.
Yeah, for sure. You should absolutely have those cards read and understand what they do. For sure.
Dark World to a less extent, because I haven't seen any Dark World yet.
Yeah.
Like, the only Dark World cards I've seen are from you.
They had a couple that bubbled YCS Vegas.
Okay, fair enough.
And when we get the results of YCS Peru, I'm interested to see
I'm gonna have some more, maybe?
what that looks like. I don't know if we even have any results for YCS Peru yet, now that I'm thinking about it. All right, what are some spicy lab techs that Caleb's been cooking up?
Oh, okay. So I've been considering, like in the mirror or against Trap Tricks, or actually, well, against Trap Trick, Runic, anything that relies on spell trap field presence, field spells and the like. Dust Tornado, because then you can activate the Dust Tornado, pop their spell trap, and then immediately set a new trap to be used during your turn. So you can set a Welcome Labyrinth, turn goes back, flip it. It basically turns into a spell card, which is pretty solid. Another thing I have been considering, because I've been Lightning Stormed and or Harpy's Feather Dustered so many times at this point, Starlight Road. Just, it's a normal trap. So like if my opponent, like if I start the turn by activating a trap card with Lady on board and I go Chain Effect, I can set it and go ahead. Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster me. Do it, I dare you. With like a couple Stardust in my extra deck, just so I can place them on the board and more destruction protection. Yeah,
that would be spectacular.
It'd be hilarious. But could you imagine, like, I got him, Harpy's Feather Duster, Starlight Road, get a Stardust. Crap.
Dang it.
Free monster, baby. Let's see, what else have I been considering?
Are you still considering Crush Card Virus?
I have considered Crush Card, but not that much. Just due to it's been nerfed so hard from what it used to be. And it's like, I'd rather just run Deck Dev at that point, probably.
Potentially, yeah.
It would really depend on, so like right now, it's not good, but I could definitely see a meta in the future where Crush Card becomes good again.
Yes.
Just not right this hot second. Good against Flu. It's good against Flu.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like there's definitely things that are not yet explored with that.
Oh, definitely. There's like most of the builds are like minor modifications of the same build. From I can't remember the dude's name, but it's like the top to YCS a while, like 2 weeks ago, and most of the best builds I've seen were just modifications of that singular build. But
I'm dumb. YCS Peru is next weekend.
Okay. But then I've seen some other really cool builds as well that utilize more of the actual engine itself, more Labyrinth cards, which does, of course, also put them at a situation to where they could be hit with a Triple Tactics Thrust or Talents before they're ready to do so after, utilizing Lovely or Lady.
Yeah. So, next question. Favorite Lunchable?
Oh, I have a two-way tie.
Okay.
What are yours first?
I like the turkey and cheese.
Okay, my two-way tie is between the pizza one and the turkey and cheese.
Yeah, I really genuinely enjoy like the turkey with cheddar and a cracker, and sometimes they have Chips Ahoy.
Like I said, for me, it's the pizza ones. But the pizza ones go because when I was a kid, pizza was my absolute number one favorite thing to eat, so...
That's fair. I never liked the pizza ones. I want my pizza hot and baked.
You're supposed to microwave them.
Oh. Then what's the point? I can't really eat them on the go if I have to microwave it.
That's fair.
Wait, are you supposed to microwave it, or is that just something you did?
It's something that they suggest on the box. You don't have to.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Interesting.
They taste so much better when you microwave them.
Kashtira format or Ishizu tier format?
Cash.
Yeah, I've got to say cash too. I don't think that this is a good format. I don't think that this is a fun format.
It's not tier 0.
But it's more competitively viable for other decks than...
it's got a more diverse meta.
Yes, agreed.
Which is both good and bad,
Agreed.
but I think it's more good than bad.
Yes. Do you think tier 0 will ever be a legacy format people play? Yeah, if you're coping hard enough, sure.
I mean, it's not like it's the only... I mean, it's not like tier 0 formats haven't been legacy formats before.
I guess. This is a very you question. I'm all the way out on this question. What is the best game ever released for the Sega Genesis?
Oh, for the Sega Genesis. Oh my.
This is not a console that I've ever played.
I would have to say I've only played like 3 games on the Sega Genesis myself.
Okay.
In my opinion though, it is definitely the Power Rangers game on the Sega Genesis, because if you beat the campaign mode with any of the base Rangers, it would unlock the Green Ranger for you, and then you could play through as the Green Ranger.
Was the Green Ranger not like a base thing?
No. Okay, so the base Rangers are red, blue, and yellow.
And pink.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Okay.
Sometimes pink is added as well if they
usually.
Usually. And there's also black, white, and green.
Yeah, but I just thought that red, blue, yellow, pink, and green were like the 5 base ones, and then black and white were kind of added, mixed in here and there.
No.
Okay.
Now there's a lot of them that do have green.
Mm-hmm.
But when people say the Green Ranger, they mean a very specific one.
Oh.
And there's only like, I think 2 or 3 other Green Rangers.
There's exactly one Power Rangers media that I've ever watched.
What was that?
Power Rangers Turbo.
Turbo. Which one was that one?
It was the one with the cars.
Oh, right. Yes.
I love how I just said the one with the cars. It was a movie.
Yeah.
Where they all did like jujitsu and stuff. And then one of the main characters got hurt. And then a small child snuck into his car, and then they got dispatched out on a mission, and the car just autopiloted him to the mission.
Yeah.
And then he got there and became the new Blue Ranger?
Yeah. So with the Green Ranger, when people say the Green Ranger, they're talking about was, so you had your base set of Power Rangers at the time.
Sure.
Had their own Megazord, and then this guy comes out of nowhere on a motorcycle, completely separate from them, starts beating up bad guys. Oh, look, giant monster. I got this. Pulls out his dagger, which he's been stabbing people with, and just plays it like a flute, and then it sounds like a trumpet, and summons the Green Megazord, which is was it a T-Rex or a dragon?
I don't know what it was. This is wild.
And they did that whole system of having the separate Ranger again later in the Quantum Ranger.
Dude, Power Rangers is such a wild franchise and fandom.
Oh, bro, that's just the U.S. Rangers. Listen. The Japanese Power Rangers has an entire thing where...
It's just a super quantum archetype.
Basically, yeah. Where one of the Rangers... Where it was 2 Rangers, 2 individuals who had their own Megazords.
Sure.
And one of them was just... His Megazord was just a dude.
Okay.
Its upgraded forms, so it'd be him piloting the Megazord piloting a mech suit.
Okay.
And then the final upgrade was him piloting the Megazord, he's piloting a mech suit, and that mech suit is piloting another mech suit. The other Power Ranger from that series, if I recall correctly, was the Lone Star Ranger.
Okay.
His thing was he could use a hamburger cell phone to call the Bull Megazord.
Of course he could.
Which was a bull that would then turn into an actual cowboy with guns. It was great. It is ridiculous.
Great.
They toned down a lot of the ridiculousness for the American version.
Okay. All right. What archetypes do you want to see get revamped, like how they did with Gate Guardians? Okay, so personally, I would love to see even more Gate Guardian support, but also Georgia get revamped again.
Yeah.
But if I have to pick like a DM era thing that I would like to see revamped, you know what I would really like to see? Those chessboard Archfiend cards get revamped.
Oh yeah. The
Queens.
Yeah, the original Archfiend. The original
Right,
Archfiend
yeah.
archetype.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, I'd kind of like to see like Armored Zombie, Dragon Zombie, Clown Zombie, and Pumpkin.
Yo, you're actually just correct. I take back what I said. I want that.
Oh, and then like Call of the Graveyard. That's a spell card.
Yes. Oh, dude, that sounds
Instead
so
of Call Bahana,
sick.
Call the Graveyard, or yeah, stuff like that.
And every time you summon back a card from that exact archetype from the graveyard, you draw a card.
Call the Graveyard. Special summon one.
Call
blah blah
card of the
blah
graveyard.
blah blah.
Like card of safe return, but
Yeah. Or it's like a continuous spell card. Anytime like that's on activation, you special summon one, and then as an additional effect, each time a monster special summon from your grave to your field, draw a card.
or you do something Konami loves to do. Put a counter on it every time you draw one, and in the end phase, you draw for how many counters it has.
There you go. And then it sends itself to graveyard.
Yeah, I'm with that. I would be fine with that. And it can only get one counter for each different name.
There you go.
That way you can like max it out at like maybe 3 or 4.
Call the archetype the Boneyard.
Yo.
So like Boneyard Clown Zombie, Boneyard Dragon
All right,
Zombie.
you have my entire interest.
Boneyard Armored Zombie, the Boneyard Pumpkin King of Ghosts.
Okay. Next question from Giant Hawk.
Okay.
Skyhawk. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind? Come on, bro. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
Don't we all? All right. What is one card you think could come off the ban list and be fine? And why is it not Maxi? Actually, it says why is it Maxi, but it's not Maxi.
It's not Maxi.
It's not Maxi.
Maxi is just such a problem.
Wind up carrier Zenmaity. That is the answer.
Yeah, Zenmaity and get rid of Hunter.
Yeah, that's fine. It makes an archetype playable.
Not good, but playable.
Yeah. Secondary question. What archetype coming up do you think has the best competitive viability? Transcend Drake.
Transcend Drake or the Nouveau?
Transcend Drake. It already has an established base.
Yeah, to play off of. Nouveau does not.
Nouveau does, but it's going to take a lot more deck building because that just becomes a generic ritual deck, I think.
Maybe?
Based with Libromancer and Makonko and
just becomes part...
Souls. It's like illusion.
It just becomes part of ritual based.
Yeah, ritual pile.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Ooh.
Well,
what if instead of calling the deck like a ritual pile deck, is there like a famous like book of rituals?
Yes.
What is it?
The Ars Goetia.
What if we just called the deck Ars Goetia?
So
that's kind of a mouthful. Is there a simpler one?
Key of Solomon.
Is there a simpler one? Like one word? I was thinking the Necronomicon, but that's like more of a dead book.
Well, that's the book of the. That's a.
Book of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. That's a necromancy spell book. A ritual book is completely different than a spell book.
We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it.
But also the Nouveau are already the Ars Goetia.
Oh.
Well, they're all demons from the Ars Goetia.
Yeah. We'll workshop it.
Ritual based.
Pretty much.
Base ritual. Let's go. Anyway, next question.
Oh, that was all the questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
There was something else that I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. I lost my train of thought.
I just love when that happens.
For sure. So let's go ahead and thank all of our wonderful patrons. So a huge thank you to April Floodgate, Lunalight Furry Fusion, Cam Yang, Dragonmaid Stunzeed, Kane Martins, Zyphorus, Blackwing, Silverwind the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Earth Machine, best deck, Epi, has anyone actually read Toy Vendor, HGH Cyber, I am Lincoln, if all you have is a Cosmic, every problem looks like a Floodgate. Monstratron, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Unbanned number 95, Konami, understanding and reading are two different things. Virtually Savior's World, where Flame Swordsman support Konami. Actually, yes, that would be a cool one to get support for too.
I mean, it already has a Link Monster.
Yep.
It's awful, but they have one.
Yeah. You've heard of Avada Kedavra, but have you heard of Avada Kedavra's nuts? Rogue and
Yes.
Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck. Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashless Chaps, Atsuyo, Simpa the Silver Castle, Boxwine, Cyberdark, Duelist, Duty Booty, Dragon, Maidenless Behavior, Your Heroes, Purple Cereal, I'm about to Rika Glamour, Tribute for Costies, Plant Nuts in Your Mouth, Cam, the Hockey Walkie Slush Mixer, Old Man Red, Pin Code 143, Santa Claus, and Valent Hojo Mama. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. Couple of things before we go. So we have had a couple of people hit us up recently asking us, if you want to send fan mail or anything of that sort, we do actually have a PO box. The link is in the description down, or the address is in the description down below. Also, again, please be sure to check out all of our wonderful sponsors and join our Discord server if you have never joined it yet. The Discord server is a wonderful place to get advice, get deck building help, to play, remote duel and remote duel or dueling book or whatever.
Yeah.
So please be sure to check that out. It's a wonderful resource that I absolutely recommend. And of course, if you're on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. If you're on Patreon, or if you're on Spotify or iTunes, be sure to go ahead and follow us or subscribe to us or whatever it is on that given platform. And of course, the number one way that you can support the podcast is by telling your friends about it and letting them know how much you love and enjoy listening to this. And of course, until next time, thank you all so much for listening and have a great week, everybody.
Take care, everyone.